Give me some directions to get to you. To get to you, ain't gonna waste my time. I know that we got connection. I think about you. You're on my mind, on my mind, on my mind. Yeah, I'm going out of my mind, out of my mind, out of my mind. Yeah, for you, my love. You drive me crazy, tell me what to do, what to do. I'm on my knees, yeah, I am begging you, begging you. I'll break the rules if it will get me to, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to another Friday with Gerald. You know this is 60 is the new 40. I halfway have on some workout gear. I'm just going to say halfway. But Gerald is going to help us out today for men and women. The legs is one of the hardest things to work on. Why? Because you're walking on them every day. And when you're working them out, sometimes it can get a little intense or you feel like you want to step back. But I'm going to tell you at the end in our last segment, just before we go off, Gerald is going to show you what 30 years of working out on his legs, what they look like and what yours can look like if you just focus for 6 to 8 months. Folks, and I'm not going to play with you. When you're walking on them and working them out, it's going to hurt a little bit. But here we go. The host of 60 is the new 40. Let's bring him in. Hey, Gerald.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
Listen, I see you on that Peloton. And if I had known this is what we were doing, I would be on my bike right now. Okay, I would have brought it up to my studio.
Well, that's okay. I'll get you started. We'll get everybody started, get you all warmed up. That's fine.
Okay, that sounds good. So while you're warming up on the Peloton, we're going to talk about, because folks, again, Gerald is big on workout, on the warm up. It's a warm up and then there's a cool down. So you guys have to remember that when you're working out. So Gerald, what is one of the things that you would say is one of the pushbacks that people get when they start working out on their legs?
They don't want bulky legs. They don't want real bulky, because what they see is, and I'll say as far as women are concerned, they don't want to see those big muscular legs. I'm a toner. So the things I'm going to show you today are mainly to tone your legs. On my YouTube page, I have things that get you, muscular legs for the guys if you want to get muscular legs. Even ladies, some ladies like having muscular legs. Also, building your calves too as well. So one of the main things they have a problem with is they're going to get sore right from the beginning. Yeah. Because you stated it earlier, you walk on your legs all the time, so you really need to step it up on your legs simply because you need the intensity. Because you walk on your legs all the time, like you were saying. Yeah. So your legs are being worked out all the time, so you need to put that extra into it. I just like to say it that way. Put that extra.
And I have to tell you, that's been like a big issue for me. And I have a nice size legs, and I think I walk a lot. But even with that, walking 3 to 5 miles can be pretty intense on my legs. And again, folks, we know you're carrying them, but this is the thing. When people are overweight, Gerald, what impact, and I hate to give it kind of weight, but the knees, people don't understand when you're carrying all that weight. People always say, well, I have to have knee surgery. And I go, well, if you had just chunked down a little bit, them knees would have made it.
Don't with the real talk.
But no, because I'm one of them. My left knee flares up a little bit. And I'm like, that's because I am overweight. I'm not going to play with myself.
Well, Chris, you know what? It's so funny. It ties in everything that I talk about in the 60, the new 40 with the health and the eating and all that and the salt and those type of things. A lot of that ties right into it. So you're carrying that extra salt. So you're bringing that pressure up. So you're having that. So let's go back to the weight part. If you're 50 pounds over, just pick a 50-pound weight up and walk around with it. And think about that.
All day.
That's what you're actually adding to yourself. Even a 10-pound weight. A 20-pound weight. Grab a dumbbell sometime and walk around with that and just realize that's the extra weight that you're carrying on yourself and the extra weight that's going to those knees. That's why a lot of knee surgeries out there now, a lot of knee replacements, simply because you're carrying that extra weight.
I'm going to tell you, Gerald, I love that you're giving us example of a warm up, but folks, he's also giving you an example. If you're watching TV, why can't you cycle while you watch TV? Why are you just sitting there? Because my bike is in front of my television in my office. It really is. When I'm taking a break, my attitude is either I'm going to do this and in my family room, I have like a running board that's like a treadmill, but it has no arms on it, right? It's just a running board. And I
Huh?
have that sitting in front of the television. Because my thing is, if I have to step over it to get to the sectional to sit down in the family room, then I might as well get on it and watch at least. I could watch a good 30 minutes of it on a
There you
treadmill
go.
just moving.
So there you go. You said to yourself 30 minutes. Go ahead and do 30 minutes. Even if you can't do 30. I'm a big sticker about start out with 5, 10, 15.
Okay.
Just work yourself up to it. One thing we didn't mention from the beginning is make sure you call your doctor, have an appointment, get your health checked out before you start any of this stuff. Make sure you're doing good, you're healthy, before your heart's healthy before you even get started with any of this process. But I love warming up.
100%.
Yeah, I love
And
warming
then
up.
the
You gotta
other
warm
thing,
your muscles.
please share with them while you're warming up water. Why is water so important to your joints? Like
Hydrate. You
right
need to
there.
hydrate yourself. You truly need to hydrate yourself. Your body's 70% water. So guess what? You need to add water into yourself. If you're sweating, I have my towel here ready too as well. Wipe that sweat off. Go ahead and put a little effort into it. That's all. Just put a little effort into it and be surprised. You shed 1 or 2 pounds. Be happy about the 1 or 2 pounds and then go from there. Again, I keep talking about process. You're not going to all of a sudden shed 50 pounds, in a month or 2 months. That's not
No.
quality weight. No, that's not quality. You want to shed 1 or 2 or 3 pounds, and then you work yourself, down to the weight you need to be. I know people talk about being proud of your size and proud of everything else, but if you're not healthy, that's not a good thing.
And it's 2 things I want to hit on before we even go to the next segment. One of the things folks, we got to drink more water. Water is a lubricant for your internal muscles. And what you guys don't understand is that if you're not drinking a lot of water, your joints will begin to ache all the time. And the only thing I can tell you, water is like that internal lubricant. So you need to start drinking a lot more water. And the other thing is, it's an internal lubricant for your digestive tract. A lot of us are carrying an extra 15 pounds just in our stomachs because you're not emptying out everything that you put in. So think about it from this perspective. A doctor said, if you're not pooping at least 2 to 3 up to 4 hours after you've eaten, then that stuff is just sitting there.
Yes.
It's not going anywhere, but that fat is now marinating through your body. So you wonder why either your behind or your thighs or your stomach or your arms are getting bigger. Is because you're not walking that stuff off in that water. You're not flushing out your digestive tract.
Absolutely right. You got to be very careful. You don't want to create fat in your body because fat has a memory. So you don't want to get that fat in there. Even though you start losing weight, those fatty cells actually stay there. And a lot of people wonder why they gain the weight back because those fatty cells are there. So you're trying to eliminate that. I'm a big component of never get there. So you'll never have to worry about trying to get it away. Same way with an illness. Don't wait until you have a stroke and then try to fix yourself after a stroke. We want to prevent things. So we're on here working out right now, getting our cardio going because we're trying to prevent. We're trying to prevent high blood pressure. We're trying to prevent strokes. These are the things I talk about in health all the time with the food. Make sure that we're trying to stay healthy. It's a process, and I keep saying that over and over again. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. So keep showing up on the podcast. Keep showing up on the show. Go to my YouTube page, and we'll work together on it. That's all. The process.
And folks, based on what he said, we'll be right back. And I'm going to tell you, Gerald, you've inspired me. You've been 9 minutes on that bike. Folks, we should be able to do at least 15 minutes on a bike. Just watching commercials and TV instead of us sitting on our duff. That's all I got to say. This duff has been practicing that, and I can't wait till the weather changes. I go for a walk every day, 3 to 5 miles for lunch. I love it. Yeah.
Good.
It gives me in my body. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't the weight. It was the inches. The legs went down in inches. The waist, the behind, the thighs, it wasn't the weight. It was the inches.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's,
because I have this thing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. And that's what you're looking for. You want the inches because the weight will fool you. You want to be in proportion.
It will.
And that's what I said earlier. I'm a body shaper. We're gonna move some things around in the right areas. You may stay the same weight, but we're gonna move some things around in the right areas.
Oh yeah. And folks, he knows what he's talking about. I'm gonna tell you, one of the things when doctors look at me, they go, "Oh, you're so solid." Yeah, I'm not a flabby fat person. It's not all over the place. It's solid. And that's a good thing because that means that it hasn't metastasized in my body and it's just like just floating around. But that
Right.
also means that that's an opportunity for me to drop that,
There
shed
you go.
that mass, and then turn that into muscle. So, folks, again, you got to know what stages your body is in and also the health of your body. So, if you're watching this, before you jump on a bike and start pedaling like Gerald on a Peloton for 10 to 15 minutes, make sure you check in with your doctor. Folks, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Hey guys, welcome back to 60s and New 40 with Gerald. So listen, if you're just joining us, we really need you before you start integrating any of these leg exercises. Be sure to check with your doctor to make sure that you're okay. Because a lot of the things that we're doing is not just sitting. There's some cardio involved in this and some moving around. So you want to make sure that you're okay before you do this. Folks, and if you watch this over and over again and you integrate what he's saying, I promise you, in 6 to 8 months and sometimes shorter, you'll see the difference. So, Gerald, what's happening?
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're okay. I know you need to adjust the volume.
Let's turn that on.
There we go.
All right, we're better, Chris. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. No problem. So, Gerald, like you have really put together this whole leg workout, which I think is really awesome. And there's different parts of the leg that we need to focus on. So, can you kind of go through that before you jump on that machine for us?
Yep. Let me break it down to you. But obviously, let's start from the bottom. Obviously, we have the calf, but we want to work on our calf area. Nice to have nice toned calves. You know, especially ladies, you're wearing your little pumps out there. You throw your calves on. You know, I'll speak as a man. Man like to see a nice calf. You know, your calves are nice and defined calf. You know, and then of course you go to the legs, to the front quad.
Yeah.
And then we're going to show quads. This exercise is going to work on our quads. So we're actually working on those quads. Depends on what direction. Then I'll show a little bit of turning the direction on what side of the quad, because there's different areas as far as the quad is concerned. And then of course we have the hamstring area too as well. Just in the back of the legs. So you want to look at the back of the legs. So again, you're wearing that little skirt. You know, you want to see the calves. You want to see nice hamstrings too as well. So nice to define toned legs. That's all we're looking to do in this program. And remember, we're the 60 New 40. We're not trying to bulk ourselves out. We're just trying to stay nice and toned.
Okay, so what about the ankle? Because I noticed that a lot of people, they don't really kind of work on the ankle. And I know like you did this thing where you're just kind of rotating and building up that flexibility in your ankle, because the older you get, arthritis, it gets stiff. So you just kind of want to look at, even during that warm up, to kind of do some flexing right in the ankle area and don't just jump up on them.
Correct. And one thing I can kind of show you from here is I like standing out. I like just pulling this back.
Okay.
And then bringing it forward and then pulling it back. That's a nice stretch and a nice exercise in the ankle area, and then also in the calf area. You know, so what you're doing is you're just kind of getting a nice stretch and pull back, and then you just bring it forward, and you resist yourself in the front too as well.
Okay, so while you're doing that, Gerald, also talk to us about the type of sneakers that you're wearing, because I think a lot of people do fashion sneakers, and at my age, I can't do fashion. I got to do something that's got some gel and some memory foams in it or something. I don't know.
Well, Chris, you just jumped ahead of my game. I was just about to explain that when I got on the squat machine, but I'll explain it now. Is that notice I have a nice thick sole? Yeah. A nice thick sole. So when you're actually, doing some of the exercises we're going to do some lunges and some squats, you need some nice support. You need a nice support on your heel area. So don't get those flat ones. The running shoes, the flat. I like nice athletic. Forget what they're called. I can't think off the top of my head, but you want to get the type with these shocks in them. See the shockers? Those really work. And it's okay to get a couple pair of shoes because for different things. So once again, have a nice sole, a nice thick sole on your shoe.
Okay. I like that, you know, and honestly, I think a lot of people forget that just on average, every day if you're walking, there's a difference. There's walking sneakers, running sneakers, workout sneakers. It's not a one size fit all sneaker situation. So
Correct.
people need to understand that you need to have different sneakers for different things.
And it's funny you're saying
Especially,
that, right? Because Chris, what you were saying is walking. If you walk outside, or if you're
yeah,
walking on that concrete, you need some
yeah,
shock. You need some shock absorber from that concrete. You wonder
yeah,
why your back. You wonder why your back is hurting. Your back's not hurting just because your back's hurting because of that shock. And you're
yes,
throwing the shocks right into you. You're hitting your heel area, which goes right up to your lower back. So
yes.
those are the little details that I like to talk about and explain to my clients. Is that those are the small things that take you to the next level and preventive stuff and not have those injuries. Injuries can come. A lot of injuries can come from working on your legs, and I'll
Hmm.
talk about that too when I get on the machines and stuff. So you have to be very careful and very mindful. I don't want you using a lot of weight. I just want you to tone because we're looking to tone yourself. So we're looking to get healthy. We're looking to stay nice and fit. That's the whole point of this.
And you know, I'm glad you said that because I notice when I walk outside on pavement, when I don't wear the right sneakers, I was always thinking because I have a big caboose that lower back was hurting, but it wasn't that. I had on the wrong sneakers. And
Correct.
so that's the whole thing. It's like I wasn't thinking. I was like, well, why didn't my back hurt the other day? Because you had on the right sneakers. And I was trying to coordinate with my little workout outfit sneakers. So I'm saying that, you know, and I know we're laughing, but
Work,
we always trying to coordinate.
well, workout isn't always being cutie out there, so you got to be very careful with that.
Exactly.
You got to be mindful of
So,
that. One thing I didn't mention is while you're walking, while I was also on the Peloton, you're holding
mhm,
that core tight. Because you remember my
okay,
actually other ones I talked about when I was doing the arm workout is
right.
always holding your core tight. So we want to strengthen that core. So we'll actually show you in the core one where we want to work on your cores. Because if you are top heavy, you're really
Right.
gonna, you tighten that core up. It's really gonna make a difference. Holding
Then you
yourself
can
up.
carry that chest.
That's correct. Have a
Yeah,
better
I just
posture.
need, you know, I just want my core back because I'm so used to having a tiny waist with big hips. I'm not worried about this chest. My chest is gone now. So it kind of it works. You know what I mean? Like if I slim it all down. So I want to see these leg exercises because I need to be turning heads at 52 with my legs. So what are we what are you doing on that machine? Let me see.
Well, we're gonna do leg extensions. So we're gonna work on as far as leg
Okay.
extensions. Again, positioning as far as your feet are concerned. I don't mind having your toes point straight out. I like
Okay.
that better. Some
Mhm.
people like to put them up. It really doesn't matter. It's just a preference thing. It doesn't really make a difference as far as the muscles are concerned.
Okay.
Again, we're coming down, and again, I like that resistance training. So
Great.
again, you want to come down slow, and then you want to come up and
Okay.
down slow and the resistance. And again, we got to breathe. Make sure we're breathing,
And you're holding your core as well, right?
holding my core. Look at my
Okay.
posture. Look at my posture. And we're
You have
always working on my
excellent
posture.
posture.
Yep, holding my core tight. Getting a nice stretch.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If a person has an issue with their knees, you can do that without any weights at all.
You can take
Or
the weights off. You don't have to do them
okay,
with far as any weight is concerned. Again, I'm gonna go back to the doctor part. Find out what's going on with your knees. Make sure it's nothing, far as ligaments or ACL or anything like that. If you're outside of that, again, we talked about it earlier on the bike. You need to shed some pounds. You're carrying
yes, I'm just fat.
you're carrying too much weight for your legs, for your knees to handle.
That's all it is. I got too much ham on the hock right now.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
all it is.
And like I said, we can shed that off. It's perfectly fine to have, thick. Some people are thicker. Some people have different type of legs and leg shaped legs. I'm going to show
Yeah.
you later on, like I was telling you earlier, my legs, I used to have real bulked out legs, but because of course now the design of clothes, they want a man to wear these slim pants all the time. So having these great big thighs, I can't have the great big thighs and wear those kind of pants. Back in the day, we had the full size pants.
Well, Joe, I don't like those skinny jeans on big men anyways. I just don't see it. It's not attractive to me. I think it's giving a different picture.
Remember, 60 the new 40, so we still try to stay a
I
little
know.
young.
Okay, well, stay a little again. I mean, you can do a taper, but don't do a full taper.
Okay.
Keep it, do it like in between. Because I've seen some real tight. I was just like, No, that's not a. I don't want my man walking around with them tight little skinny jeans.
But most
on.
of the suits now have gone to that style. You know,
I
so
know.
it's a little tough.
It's made for the slim guy, y'all. And I think I know designers who are designing just for the regular man. If you would like some assistance, I will be happy to refer you.
It's okay to still wear the
yes,
the full leg, full pant, size leg. Excuse me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well,
we don't all want our man looking like toddlers in tight clothes. No. You know, I say this sincerely. It was a guy who was extremely attractive, but when he turned around, why I gotta see all your business? It was just the pants was too tight. I was like, I didn't. It just kind of the mystery. We want to think about it too. We don't need it all to hold everything out. And plus, on his thighs, it was too tight. It was just too tight.
I just don't think that design was put together for black men, and I'll just leave it at that. I won't go any further.
Okay, I don't think it was made for black men or athletes.
Right, exactly. They were not right. They weren't designed. They weren't designed for us. Simple as that.
No, it's just not. Okay, so Gerald, how many of those would you recommend for someone, and in what area should they be looking for it to impact on their legs and thighs?
That particular one's going to impact as far as your front quad area.
Okay.
Again, I like three. Again, we're going to do anywhere from 10 to 15 repetitions. Get a weight that you can only do 10 to 15, which is perfectly fine because again, we're just toning.
Right.
Again, I need 3 days out of the week. I need 3 days out of the week. Anything you do, 3 days out of the week. You were saying 6 months, 3 months. I'm telling you, in 3 months, if you're doing this consistently, I guarantee in 3 months, you're going to come back and say, thank you, Gerald. I appreciate this. Just 3 months. Just commit yourself 90 days.
3 months?
90 days to start seeing a difference. You're really going to start seeing a difference, really. Honestly.
Okay, Gerald, you got me. 3 months is not long.
No, it's not long at all. But it's about the commitment. It's about doing it three times a week. It's about the commitment. If you put that commitment into it, you're really going to see a difference.
All right. So, folks, I'm going to give you the first challenge for tonight. I'm posting my ham hocks. Before and after. I'm posting right now ham hocks. And then I'm posting ham hocks 3 months from now.
There you go.
Because I'm going to do this 3 times a week. So all I got to say is meet me on the challenge. Post your ham hocks. That's all I got to say. Now, wait a minute. Let me just say this too. Cover up the rest of your body. Don't put your ham hocks out there and the rest of your body's not covered. That might be an issue. So, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we get back. Gerald is going to show us another exercise that we can do that's going to help us increase the form and toning on our legs. And ladies, this is for us as well as for men and women. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Need it all. Do you want it though? Where do I begin? I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard he scammer, had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call it my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. Been through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, it's not a purse, it's a merch. 6 figures was a gold, now it's 9 or a hearse. Put it work. Used to pull up, now I swerve. No time for the snakes, time to put them in the dirt. That's word. I gotta get it, it's in my DNA. You only see the highlights, don't know what it takes. Last year stressing, got no sleep. Now I'm right between the courts, I don't know it bleeds. I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard he scammer, had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call it my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. They through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, same circles to the same gang. We just get to it, we don't gang bang. Lost some.
Hey guys, welcome back to 60s and New 40 with Gerald. Before I bring Gerald back, remember, check with your doctor before you try any of these exercises or any of these warm-up techniques. It's very important you check with your doctor to make sure you're okay. All right, so Gerald, listen, we're back and we're hot and ready. I'm going to tell you that leg workout, and by the way, folks, before we went to commercial break, I gave everybody a challenge. I'm posting my ham hocks. 3 months from now, you're going to see my ham hocks today versus then. And by the way, in 3 months, it'll be my 52nd birthday. So you know I'm going in. I'm going in hard on this because I need all of this to be magical. And we won't even talk about my weight loss is in the double digits that I need to do. So to me, I'm not even counting weight. I'm counting toning.
That's easy to tackle. We can tackle that one. That's fine. We can tackle that one. That's a very easy one. So what I turned around now is we're going to do hamstrings. Then we can't forget about the back of our legs. We talked about that earlier.
All right, so you're doing your hamstrings now.
You want to tone your hamstrings too as well. So this particular one is and we're doing the same thing. We're bringing it up and then squeezing.
Okay.
And then back down again. Take your time.
Are you holding your mid area in as well?
I'm holding my mid area nice and tight. I sure am.
Are you clenching your buttocks?
I'm clenching my buttocks, Chris. You got all that down packed. That's what you should be doing.
Okay.
Yep. When you come up and then down and then up, squeeze your legs, your cheeks, and everything at the same time while you're on the up position. Then back down.
Because now we're working on what area?
We're working on your hamstrings and your buttocks, all through here.
Okay.
Because this is one of the weight areas that women have a problem. They carry the weight in their lower tush area. Right. So this is truly something that's going to help tone that up.
Okay, so Gerald, let's do real talk. You mean that cottage cheese that's on women's asses? Is that what we're talking about?
It'll help tighten up that cottage cheese. Absolutely correct. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
Bring it on in, Gerald.
You know, so again, a lot of women don't use this machine. They forget about it. This is a machine that you really want to do. We're going to do squats and all that. And that's fine. But you want to coordinate all this stuff into it too as well. Because you can truly feel this. If you go into the gym and start using this machine, you're going to really send me a message and DM me and say thank you. All I want to hear is thank you, because you're going to really start noticing the difference. Like I said, again, give me those 3 months. Give me those 3 months of doing these exercises and toning that cottage cheese area up. Because again, that's the area that women carry a lot of weight in. Right?
Yeah, and also with everybody wanting to wear these leggings, you can see the cottage cheese and also the ripples on your legs where the fat cells are just sitting there, as I say, salivating.
Sure.
And you need to work on that, because why are you putting on Spanx underneath the leggings just to smooth out the fat when you can just work all I got to say is, if you think about all the money you spend on undergarments to keep everything sucked in and tighten up so you don't look a certain way, if you just go ahead and work out, you'll be all right. So that's my thing. I'm just going to put the time in.
Absolutely correct. You definitely just put the time in. That's all we're asking, because you had mentioned earlier, put the Peloton bicycle, put the treadmill in front of the TV. If you're sitting there watching the show, you can get your 30 minutes out the way. Get your 15, 20, 30 minutes, even an hour. You know, the advanced people do an hour on there. Easy. Time goes by fast. Or you're sitting there on the phone chatting, or you're sitting there texting, or whatever the case may be, because the phone, you'd be surprised how much time you spend on the phone chatting and tapping and doing everything else, when you could have been sitting on the treadmill or the Peloton doing all these exercises and getting it out of the way.
I'm going to tell you, I agree with that 100%. Today, if I had the energy, my bike is sitting in my office, but I was so tired. I was like, either I'm doing 30 minutes on this bike or I'm going to get 30 minutes of sleep, right? Because I'm just exhausted. And I was like, okay, well, I could just make up the 30 minutes on the bike in the morning. So I'm going to say, folks, also look at, if you're a morning person, get up extra early and knock this stuff out in the morning. And then when you get home, you still get another 30 minutes in. That's how you can work out twice a day on certain areas. I'm a morning person. My alarm goes off at 5:30 and I'm already up. So I might as well just go get on the bike or get on the treadmill real quick and knock something out and then start my day.
And just think about the times you picked up the phone and you checked the phone for no reason at all. You're watching TikTok or you're watching Instagram or whatever. That's wasted time that you could have actually been in the gym. And you could have been doing your 15, 30 minutes. You may not get 30 in, get 15 in, get something in. That very time that you sat there and you realize that you sat there and plucked that phone for 15 to 30 minutes when you could have actually been in the gym getting yourself together. And also think about this, guys. It's March the 2nd. It's March the 3rd, excuse me. You need to realize that spring's coming, summer's coming. So we need to get those spring and summer bodies together. So you need to start working it now and getting it in.
I know. Listen, ladies, we're going to keep it real. This is real talk right now. Y'all know y'all chunky. We done went through COVID. Y'all still snacking. All I got to say is all the frustration that you have, jump on a bike. It won't take a lot to tone up your legs, your body, your ab area. Jump on a bike for 30 minutes a day. Stop eating fatty foods. Like, folks, you can't keep eating the wrong food either. So if you want to know what food to eat, you need to watch the podcast that he did when he replaced bad food with good food, right?
Exactly.
So you got to cut back on what you're eating. Drink more water. You did one podcast, I think, when you were working out on arms and told people how much water to drink. You know, you got to pay attention.
You need to replenish yourself with water. You saw me throw my water in me again. You got to constantly throw water back in you. And I'd rather fill myself up on water. That's another trick that you do. A lot of times they say, drink water before you eat.
Yes.
Sometimes we're duped to thinking 12 o'clock is lunchtime. If you're not hungry at 12, don't eat.
Don't eat.
Don't eat. A lot of people think it's 12 o'clock and it's lunchtime. It's not. If you're not hungry, don't eat. Drink some water, fill yourself up, and you realize that, wait a minute, I really wasn't hungry. As you filled your belly up, and you'll be perfectly fine. Have a little snack or something later on. So it starts up here. Don't fool yourself. You're not always hungry at 12 o'clock.
You're not. And I know the office workers, because I work in an office. I will tell you this, the best thing to do, I keep water on my desk. But not only just water, I have a tea kettle that I can heat up and I can drink tea, which you always need something warm to go through your digestive tract to keep it flowing. So the older you get, you got to start thinking about that. And the other thing is you need to cut back 100% on your carbs. That bread and stuff, it just sits in your stomach and it's hard to really push it out. So start thinking about that. The older you are, you can't keep eating the way you were in your 30s and 40s. You got to change the way that you eat. And that's huge.
It's huge. You're absolutely right, Chris. You got to get everything moving. All that stuff sitting in your intestines, like, believe it or not, that's added weight. That's weight you're wondering, why is my stomach so bloated? Why is this going on? Because you're not having regular bowel movements. You need to get that stuff moving, constantly moving in your body. So if you haven't gone in 2 or 3 days, there's a problem.
And I will say, folks, y'all keep telling me, oh, it's just water weight. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Fat.
It's fat.
It's fat. Okay? Stop all that is water weight. We passed that. Okay, now, Gerald, our next exercise that you're going to do, I'm eager to see what it is. And what area are we working on?
We're going to work on that. We're going to do the squats, and we're going to work on the back of the legs. I'm sorry. It'll be actually the whole leg. I won't say just the back of the leg. It'll be all the way around, and then you're work in the glute area too as well. Okay. Now, I will say, if you don't have this at home, if you don't have the squat rack at home, I pulled out a bar for you.
Okay.
So you can actually do this. You can actually use a bar instead. You want to get your legs about shoulder width apart.
Okay.
And then you want to come down. Now, what I like to do, and I'm going to explain everything before I do it. I apologize for start first. Find a spot up in the ceiling, and you look at that. Even when you're squatting, you find that spot and your eyes stay on that spot. Why am I doing that, Gerald? Because it keeps your back straight. Because if you don't do that, you're going to do this. You're going to look forward.
Oh, okay.
Because you're going to look forward. If you're looking forward, your head's going to go.
But you got to look up.
Right, your body's going to go where your head goes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a nice trick right there. Is you want to find a spot up, and then come down.
Oh, okay.
And then up. Now, some people are going to say, I can't go that low, Gerald. I'm not ready for that. I can't handle that. Well, I'm going to turn around and show you this part. Now, I'm not a big fan of it, but you're not using a lot of weight. So you're coming down. Here's a bench here, and you tap on the bench and you come up.
Oh, you're tapping your boom boom.
You tap, right. You just tap the bench.
Okay.
And it's also protecting yourself, because if you can't get down that far, if you have to sit, you
just land right there. So
that's
folks,
correct.
that's equivalent to a chair.
It's equivalent to a chair. Absolutely correct. So what you want to do is you have that for actually just for mental, if you haven't done it before. So this kind of helps you get down there. You tap it, and you're up. Again, I'm holding my core tight. I'm flexing my legs tight. And this is one of the most important things. I'm going to turn. And when you're coming up, you're squeezing those cheeks tight.
There's
you're
those
squeezing the cheeks tight, just like we did like we did when we were working the back of our legs. You got to squeeze the cheeks tight.
So if you guys haven't caught on yet, the cheeks.
That tones all that area back here in the back of your legs.
And that's you know what, guys, if you haven't caught on yet, obviously if you're not hearing him say this, you got to hold that core and you got to squeeze them cheeks.
Absolutely correct.
That's because it's not just your legs. Remember, the core of your body is carrying the rest of this. Like, that's what you don't understand. That back and everything. That's why I said, for me, I'm so used to having a small little waist, but because of, I'm not going to even blame it on COVID, because of my laziness and getting older, menopause hits. And ladies, even if you're not the type of woman, like I don't have sweats or anything, that didn't happen to me. But the thing is, your body metabolism slows down, and that's a sign of menopause. So even if everything is still normal, your body is shutting down, because I'll be 52 this year. I know you guys probably saying, oh, she looks like she's 30. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm not. And you're like, I mean, we're laughing, but I have to tell the younger guys all the time, like, dude, I'm old enough to be your mom. They're like, are you? You don't look like my mother. Well, one, that's a compliment. But that's because I spent a lot of time keeping this together. Right. But now I need to get back in the gym the way I was before. See, the thing is, and that's the other thing too, if you're a person who previously worked out, your body is accustomed to that. So even if you fell off, it's not going to take you as long. But if you're a person who's never worked in the gym, this is going to be tough for you. So before we go to the next segment, please tell people how sore their body will be and how they have to kind of move through that to get to the finish line. A lot of people stop.
Right, you just made a very good point, because I mentioned earlier about your fat having a memory. Your muscle has memory as well. Mm-hmm. So there was a very good point you made. If you worked out before, get started again. Your muscles are going to remember that. But guess what? Your muscles are going to be sore because you've not worked them out. So trust me, you are going to be sore initially. So, go find somewhere you can jump in the tub or jacuzzi or whatever, get in the sauna, those type of things, so you can kind of sweat and help work those muscles out. I like using a muscle rub, like the heat. I like putting that on my muscles. It really does help out a lot as you get older. That stuff really works. We used to laugh about our parents putting Bengay and stuff like that on. Actually, Bengay really works, guys.
I'll put that Bengay on and put on a t-shirt. Honey, I don't care about, I can smell like Bengay. I think one day my bed smelled like Bengay for a month because I was in the gym.
Well, they have the scentless type. They don't have no scent now. They have the type that doesn't have any scent.
Oh, you know what? I tried that one, and I don't, in my mind, if I couldn't smell it, it didn't do the same thing.
Yeah, that's not true. It really does work.
Don't listen to me, people. That was just in my mind. But I'm going to tell you, it really, just the smell of the Bengay, I don't know, it just became soothing to me. But I didn't care that my bed smelled like Bengay. I got in that bed, honey, and I had to put that in with a heating pad. Now, that's the other thing, too, so we're clear. There are heating pads that vibrate. There's some that don't. You're going to need a heating pad and some Bengay, all right?
And that heating pad will be your best friend, trust me. That heating pad and Bengay will be your best friend. But you know what? With all that, stay on top of it, guys. Yes. It'll go away. I just want to encourage you and let you know that the pain is going to be there, but the pain will go away over time. Yes. So I don't want you to just think you're always going to be, paining every time you go to work out. So I want to make sure there's light at the end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. So as more consistency you are with working out, then guess what, guys? That pain will start going away. slowly but surely that pain will go away and you start getting your results. I like using that wet paper towel terminology. Is, you know what, you're right there. That wet paper towel, all you do is just break through it, but you still think it's a big hard piece of cardboard.
Yes.
Now just push on through, guys. You're right there. Just stay right on top of it. Like I said, 3 months. Give me my 3 months, Chris.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you can have it, honey. I want these ham hocks together. And I'm going to tell you first, the pain for me takes about 2 to 3 weeks. Yep. That's it. Like 2 to 3 weeks, as long as I'm consistent. After that, the pain is, and it's not the same level of intensity of pain. It kind of mellows out. It's not the same, folks. So if you're thinking, oh my God, I don't want to be in that much pain. No, but I'll tell you, the area that was very painful for me, and it lasted longer, was my arms. Because you use your arms for everything. You're thinking you're working them out. It's different when you're working them out.
Right.
So I know for me, my arms and my neck and my back, because when I did it all, it was just kind of like, ugh. And I literally did not want to go back, but I was like, I got to work through it.
And that's very real stuff that you're talking about, Chris. And I'm glad you brought that up to him, is because those parts are going to feel sore because you haven't worked them that way. Yeah. It's different than picking up canned goods or groceries at the store and all that, than actually picking up these weights. And plus you're bending certain ways that you don't bend normally. So again, we want to work those arms. We want to work those muscles. We just want to tone them up. We just want to get you back to the point where you were when you were in your 30s. It can be done. Like, again, I'm 60. I'm moving around like it really, truly works. And I'm living proof of it, that it makes a difference. I got lazy at one point in my life. I lost 25, 30 pounds. I got lazy, want to be big, bulked out, and, having a big belly in the gut. I want that 6-pack again, as opposed to having the keg belly. I want to have that 6-pack. 4-pack right now. It's a little tough to get that 6-pack, but I still work.
Girl, at 60, if you got a 4-pack and it's flat, you're good. Trust me. I see so many pregnant men on the street. I'm just like, that is not hot. That is just so not hot. And that's something we look at. So, folks, we're going to go a quick commercial break. We're right back, and Gerald's going to give us another leg exercise that we can do to help us tone up our legs. So, folks, please stay tuned. We'll be right back with 60 is the New 40 with Gerald Robinson. Hey guys, welcome back to 60 is the New 40 with Gerald Robinson. If you're just tuning in right now, be sure that you check with your doctor before you try any of these leg exercises. The legs exercises that Gerald is demonstrating today is for men and women. So make sure you pay attention and replay this podcast over and over again. He's asking that you stick to this program for at least 3 months so you can see results. So we're going to bring Gerald back in, the host of 60 is the New 40. Gerald, I'm telling you, you have really been doing it. I'm all excited about it. I'm going to watch this tomorrow as soon as my alarm clock goes off.
Yeah, I want to be consistent. Just watch it. Watch it for the next 3 months, but I don't want you to stop at 3 months. Watch it for the next 3 months and see your results start happening. Send some pictures. Please send pictures, DM, send messages or whatever, and show me what your results are like. Because truly, if you stick with it, and I don't have a problem with actually helping you. So if somebody needs to send a message out to me and have questions, like Gerald, I've tried this and this is not happening. I need to try this, the next thing, whatever there is, feel free to reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. Definitely.
Folks, and I'm going to tell you, he truly means that. Gerald is all about healthy living, especially when you're 50, going into 60, going into 70. So he's been doing this for over 30 years. I'm definitely going to tell you, if you're looking for somebody who cares about you as an individual, your nutrition, your workout, you guys to start tuning in and watching him. And then his YouTube channel, you got to subscribe to that, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to see some transformations. I personally will be doing it because I want to stay a rock star. Even now and then after I get married, I just want to be a rock star. I just think the healthier I am, the longer I can live a healthier life. So Gerald, listen, your first workout that you did was what? For anybody who's joining us now, what was the first thing you did?
Initially, we did the warm up. We were doing the Peloton. We were doing our warm up. So we did the Peloton to warm ourselves up. Then we went on to the leg extension. The leg extension was to work on your front quad area. Okay. And then we turned around and we did the hamstring area. So we worked on the hamstring, and then the hamstring came up, and then we went up into the glute area too as well. So those are the areas we went all the way around. We went all the way around. That was for the cottage
cheese. Tell them what you were working off. The cottage cheese.
We were working off that cottage cheese in that area. Like I said again, those are areas that the weight jumps right into those areas here and starts sagging. Yeah. So again, we're tightening those areas up here. So we worked the whole upper part of the leg. Now we're going to work the lower part of the leg. So we're going to work that calf area. A lot of people forget about that area. You don't want that straight up and down calf area. It's nice when you put those heels on. And even guys, when you're out there playing ball, helps you jump, as far as playing basketball is concerned. That helped me dunk. I'm a 6-footer and I can dunk. So again, that helps you, build that strength.
But Drew, what about those men who have little chicken legs?
Well, Chris, believe it or not, and if I showed you pictures back when I was in my 20s, I was one of those guys with the big barrel chest. It looked like a seagull. I had the big barrel chest with them real skinny legs. All it took was one guy to tease me about it. And then from that point forward, I was like, never again. Again, I just made sure that I worked my legs and trained my legs and constantly trained my legs. But sometimes you have to be mindful of that. Some people's legs are just simply built that way. They can be strong, but they're just built a certain way and they just stay slim. So again, just know your body structure. If you're working your legs and you're not, because again, I don't believe in the big bulky legs, not for me personally. I like nice big size legs, nice toned legs. But again, some guys just can't get big legs. But you want to have a nice toned leg. That's all. Okay,
I just want to be clear. If you're a man with a nice upper body and you got chicken legs, don't wear shorts. Just wear pants. It just totally messes with our minds. I'm just saying, I just have a thing. And I don't know, this is going to sound really weird because all ladies on Real Talk tease me how I am about noses. I'm really big about noses, but I'm also really big about a man with some nice thighs. It's not that I'm going to do anything with the thigh. I'm not even into touching the thigh like that. But it does something for me visually when I see a man that's well put together. He's got a nice thigh on him. It's just something about that. So my thing is, men and women too. Like Gerald said, men like to look at the women on the walk away when you got nice calves. They don't want to see the cottage cheese in our clothing. So we need to start paying attention on that. That walk away can close a deal for you, right, Gerald?
It sure can. Right? And don't think you're hiding it either, because we can actually see through all that. So if you're in the leggings and stuff, like you were saying earlier, you can see that cottage cheese through the leggings. So be very mindful. Or you have that long dress on or long skirt, I think you're hiding it. It can actually, we can actually see that stuff. But again, we're gonna get all that taken care of.
Yes.
3-month commitment, and we're gonna get all that taken care of.
This is going to look like a whole different thing happening. I just want to be clear. This is going to be hot like fire. And I'm going to tell you folks, I'm not saying something to you that's not going on with me, right? I think the older we get, our body just sucks and holds on to that fat.
It does.
Especially for women, our metabolism gets slower. And then men, for you guys who have just let that mid area go, that gut, yeah, it's going to take some time to knock that off, but start with walking, because you can work on your legs and getting that stomach down. Like Gerald said, hold that core. You got to hold it.
Yes, right? Hold the core tight. If you want to get one of those belts that tightens up, just you sweat in that area. I like those. I personally recommend them. I don't recommend them using them all day. Some people overdo it. And I believe 2 or 3 hours is perfectly fine to sweat with those, not 8 hours. You know, because I've done it before, and I'm only talking from experience. You know,
Yeah.
I'm thinking the more the better, but in that particular case, not more the better. You know, that particular
Really?
one, you just want to sweat 3 or 4 hours around in your waist area,
Right.
and then to let it go, and then you're fine from there. Because it also helps you keep your core tight. It teaches you to keep your core tight. So
Okay.
not only are you getting a sweat in that area, you're also holding your core tight. So those are the little
You know,
secrets that actually work nowadays. I wish I had those back when I was younger. But now, you know, I'll take advantage of it now because metabolism slowed down. Hey, it helps out quite a bit.
so you're saying, because a lot of people are using those waist trainers, and I have to say this. Everybody that's getting those BBLs, you are not fooling anybody with that waist trimmer on and this gigantic ass. I just want to say, I'm a person that was a 36-24 and my body didn't look like that. And I was a 36-24. So it's no way that you got this tiny little waist and this gigantic ass like this freaking big. It's just not, it just doesn't work that way. And
Right.
all my girlfriends tease me. They go, look at Christine's ass. Like my ass is still, I got a nice little, it's good. It could be better though. I see what it looked like naked. So I know it could be better. But stop doing, the thing is they're wearing those waist trimmers, Gerald, like literally all day.
Right. Now, all day's not good at all. All day's not good for you. It's not good for your posture. It's just not good for those areas. Again,
Okay.
through your midsection, that's kind of a crutch. You're using it as a
Right.
crutch as opposed to actually your core being tight. You know, so again, it's like wearing one of those safety belts all day. Well, guess what? You're going to have to take that safety belt off at one point. And now your mid area is weak. You want to tighten that on its own naturally. So you want to
Right.
naturally have a nice tight core on its own. That's just something that's assistance. You know, I like using assistance work. That's something, there's exercises that are like assistance work. They're not something that's going to bulk you up and make you big. You know, that's what I talk about my guys that want to get big and strong. There's big and strong workouts, but there also is assistant works too as well. They're going to help you tone
Okay.
and give you that muscle definition. Those are the things that we want to work on.
Gerald, I'm glad you said that about wearing those waist trimmers and it makes your waist weaker, and I think people are so focused on the beauty part of it, they're not understanding the negative impact of wearing those waist trimmers longer than the recommended time.
Correct.
So folks, just pay attention to that. And again, if you're not sure, just check with your doctor, a nutritionist, or someone local at the gym, like a personal trainer, and ask them what their thoughts are on it. So Gerald, you are in front of something right now, and I need to know what's going on with that, because is that an exercise I need to be doing? What's happening?
Well, this is going to be the calf things. This is where I stacked up a couple weights on top of each other.
Okay.
So this is where we're actually going to work on your calves. We were just talking about having those nice toned calves.
Mm-hmm.
It's just on your tippy toes. You just want to get up on your tippy toes on them. And the
Okay.
reason I have them up is because you want to get that stretch all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
So here, again, I want to come all the way up and
Right.
tighten. You're squeezing everything. You're squeezing it
Okay.
all. You're squeezing your calves, your hamstrings, your buttocks area as well as you go up and down on that. And then back down. And then up
Okay.
nice and tight. And squeeze it nice and tight on that. And then,
So if you don't have weights at home, what can we use, Gerald, if we don't have weights?
if you don't have weights, go to a lumber store, get a 2x4. One of the best things I love personally, if you have stairs at home. If you have stairs, that is the absolute best because you have a railing to grab hold of. So if you can't balance yourself, use the steps. So stairs, and most people, even if you live in an apartment, you're walking up the steps, you got to walk in somewhere. Somewhere there's some steps. You have steps nearby at her home. Actually, steps are actually the best thing for you because they're about 8 inches off. So that gives you a nice stretch of your calf, and then come up and then come down. It truly, truly works, and it makes a difference. Now, one thing I was showing you doing it with both legs at one time, cross over and just do one as you get better.
Wow.
As you
What
get stronger,
so what is that going to do?
that's concentrating on just the one calf. So you're using the same amount of weight, body weight, but it's just concentrating on that one calf. So as you get stronger, you're going to be able to handle that. So you're building that calf a little bit, a lot better, and a lot bulkier, and a lot faster. Now again, just depends on how big you want those calves. It's totally up to you. But again, I'm looking for tone. It's going to help you tone your calves.
So Joe, what do you say to a woman who already has really big calves and she just needs to tone them? What exercises would you, because some of them, I call them the Popeye legs. they already have big calves.
Yep.
I'm a person, I got little ankles and big calves, so all of my boots are custom, which
Right.
causes a problem because I buy them for my calves. I got little ankles. Right? So I'm really kind of focused on, mind you, I'm going to do all the exercises because I noticed the older that I've gotten, that defined kind of muscular look in my calf is not as tight as it was as it went in my 40s. So I'm going to do those.
Well, to answer that, the toning part comes from repetition. Do a lot of reps to the toning. So again, you want to do, you don't want to, because I was saying earlier, to get up on 1 foot, one foot and then do it. That's something for more strength, and you're trying to build a little bit more bulk in your calf. So again, you want to stay, go ahead with 2 of them, but you want to do like 25 to 30 repetitions. Okay. So you want to do multiple repetitions. So all you're trying to do is tone. You're not trying to build the calf up and make it any larger, because as you said, it's already large. You're just looking to tone. You're looking not to have any cottage cheese look on your, and that's the same thing with, it's the same thing. If some person wants to stay where they are and they just want to get rid of the cottage cheese area, up your repetitions. So I'm glad you said that. So you want to up your repetitions to 20, 25 repetitions. That's perfectly fine. All you're trying to do is stay exactly where you are, but you're just trying to tighten those things. You're trying to tighten those areas. You're trying to tone those areas. So you're just trying to smooth it out. So again, you don't want to get any larger. You just want to up your repetitions then. If you want to get larger, you up your weight and less repetitions. But we're not trying to do that. So you do have people that are watching podcasts. They're slim. They're trying to get a little bit larger. So not everybody's big. Not everybody's overweight. Not everybody's big. There's some people that want to get a little bit larger. There's some women that, calves, they need to get a little bit better calves. They got nice everything else, but their legs are real slim. And a lot of African-American women, they're slim. And guys, they have those slim legs in the lower calf area. Well, guess what? We can throw the calf. We can throw these calf raises in there, tone those legs out. You throw those pumps on, and you'll be sending me a DM said, you know what? I got all these compliments, from doing these calf raises.
That'll be me, because I'm going to do
Gerald.
it.
Thank you, Gerald.
I'm going to do it. And folks, the challenge of the week is just to post a picture of your calves. And then we need to start that calf and leg workout, folks, because that's the challenge in 3 months. Gerald, how many times a day do we need to do this, or how many times a week?
We need this 3 times a week. We need this done 3 times a week, please.
Are we doing 30 minutes 3 times a week?
We're doing 30. If you're a beginner, 15 is perfectly fine. Again, but give me 30. You're looking to do 30. If you go beyond that, that's wonderful. But again, the process stages. If you give me 15, at least you're giving me 15. Then you go on to 30. Then you go into 45 or to an hour. Don't spend much more time past an hour in the gym. There's no reason for any of that. Mm-hmm. At this age, you're not trying to become Hercules. You're just trying to tone. And you're going to burn yourself out being in the gym, period. So again, you don't want to spend an hour in there. I did that in my 20s and 30s. You don't want to do that. Again, you're just trying to tone up where you are now. 30, 45 minutes, and you're good. And that's the 30, 45 is part of your cardio too.
Right.
So you have to remember you're adding cardio in there. So if you're cardioing and you're also doing a little bit of weight training, 30 minutes should be easy.
Gerald, this is really exciting. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When Gerald comes back, he's going to close out 60 is the New 40, and he's going to give you a sneak peek at his legs. Because if you don't believe what he says, watch his legs. Folks, I will see you next week with 60 is the New 40 with Gerald Robinson, and we'll be right back after this commercial break. If you're watching, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you right back in 2 and 2.
My calf area, so I had to develop my calf. So again, work your calf areas. You'll end up toning those calves. You'll have those nice calves that you like. Again, I worked on my thighs to tone up my thigh area. And again, not just to bulk them out, but just have them nice and toned and stuff. So give me a consistent 3 days a week for 3 months. And trust me, you are truly going to see a difference, and you'll thank me for it. But just make sure you're being safe. So make sure you go see your doctor prior to doing all these exercises routine. Get your cardio in. Make sure you're working your abs. Make sure you're keeping your stomach and core area nice and tight when you're doing your exercises. When you're doing your squats, make sure you're looking up in the ceiling. Make sure you're finding the spot so you're not leaning over. Make sure you're squeezing nice and tight. So all those little things are going to make a difference. And trust me, you'll be calling me saying, Gerald, thank you. So we'll see you on the next podcast. Have a blessed night.